This is without a doubt the most important practice that you can engage in, especially if you're a generator or a manifesting generator. It's called a sacral calibration. And all you got to do is just make sounds. Uh-huh, uh-uh, I'm going to ask you some questions. It's going to go kind of quick. Don't think about it. Just feel the answer. Uh-huh, if it's true. Uh-uh, if it's not true. You can even hit me with a And for all the non-sacral beings, manifestors, projectors, and reflectors, feel free to practice as well. We're going to talk about this after the exercise. But right now, take a deep breath. And exhale. Did you take the breath? Are you standing up? Is your hair in a ponytail? Do you have long hair? Do you have short hair? Do you have facial hair? Are your nails clean? Are you holding anything? Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Do you have a lot of energy? Do you feel tired? Do you feel emotional? Do you miss anybody? Is there anybody in your life that you would risk your life to protect? Do you feel like you're moving in the right direction? Do you feel like you're moving in the wrong direction? Do you have a vision of what you want your life to look like? Do you feel creative right now? Is there something that you want to start, but you haven't for some reason? Do you know what that reason is? Do you like yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you accept yourself? Do you know about your human design? Is your sacral defined? Is it undefined? Wonderful. Take a deep breath and exhale. Well done. If you made it to this point, you're literally a part of the 3%, which means that you, unlike everybody else who left early, actually have a chance at living a life that is yours and not just some distorted projection of what society or what your mom and dad or what your ex-boyfriends and girlfriends want from you. You actually have an opportunity to live your life, but it's going to take work. If you have a defined sacral, meaning you have this center in your human design body graph colored in and connected to one of the other centers, this practice is non-negotiable. You have to practice this. The reason being is that for most of your life, you are likely to have either suppressed this sacral sound, something very activating for your sacral. You get a comes into your field. But instead of ing and following your sacral, you go up into the head and say, oh, I can't have that. I'm not good enough to have that. So-and-so wouldn't like it if I had that. That's probably just going to go away. You rationalized and suppressed your sacral. Another thing that might be happening is instead of following the sacral, you look to somebody else and say, hey, should we go do that? Should I go do that? And they say something along the lines of like, I don't know. And so your sacral again is projected this time, but ultimately suppressed. The reason you have to practice this every day is because you have to get in tune with your sacral. If your sacral is defined, manifesting generator, your strategy is to literally just let your sacral guide you. I know I go back and forth between sacral and sacral. Don't know why I do it. Doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. It's that center right there. It's your sexual creative life force. And when it's defined in your chart, you can trust it to give you information about yourself and what is actually going to be satisfying for you versus what is going to frustrate you. So many people get the I don't want to go on a date with you. I don't want to stay in a relationship. I don't want to do the party. But they just do it anyways. And that leads to frustration, that leads to not being able to sleep at night, that leads to codependency, that leads to a very unsatisfying life. And if you made it this far, again, you can change that. You just have to practice. If you have an undefined sacral, manifestors, projectors, or reflectors, this is still a wonderful practice to do. every day because it puts you in contact with your sacral. Now, having an undefined sacral doesn't mean that you don't have sacral sounds. It just means that there are also going to be the sacral sounds of other beings, especially people that you're sleeping with or people that are really close to you or you spend a lot of time with. This is a very insidious situation because, like, for instance, I had this happen to me the other day. I was at dinner with a bunch of friends. My stomach was a little sensitive, and so I was being very conservative with the amount of food I was eating. Every time somebody got up to go get seconds, I felt the urge to get up and also go get seconds. Let me know if you resonate with that in the comments. But instead of doing that, I tuned back into my own sacral and felt into, is it time for seconds yet? And I ended up getting seconds way later in the dinner. And I also got a very small portion. See, for those with the undefined sacral, if you're not familiar with what these sacral sounds feel like in your body, you are liable to operating off of the sacral sounds of other people and never even tuning into your own. So this sacral calibration, again, is super important for everybody who wants to not be ruled by the mind, not be ruled by some external authority, but they actually want to come into contact with their own sense of satisfaction. You can do all the retreats that you want. You can do all the yoga. You can do all the personal development seminar. You can do it all. But if you don't practice listening to your sacral, you're fucked. Now, if you don't know what type you are, but this message resonates, visit my website and plug your information right in there. That's going to generate you a body graph. It's going to look like this, only way more overwhelming because there's information encoded into you that goes so much deeper than this just sacral conversation. Again, this is one of 9 different centers. If you want that information decrypted, you have a handful of choices. You could go online and research all of the gates and profiles and strategies and authorities and all that, or you could just spend 20 bucks and buy one of my custom generated reports. Save you a lot of time and probably a lot of money as well. Also, if you want me to detangle it all for you on a Zoom call, we can do that. Thanks for tuning in. Send this to somebody who deserves to live a satisfying life. Let me know in the comments how this impacted you. And don't forget to grab your chart on ReikiMarco.com. Peace.